All right, we got Shelter Woods. Nice.
Right.
I'm gonna get on a generator. So, Mama J's been watching the videos where I've been telling the stories. If you guys don't know, Mama J's my wife. Sometimes she comes in and that's her username. Sometimes she hangs out with us. That's Legion. But one of her favorite stories that I tell is about, we've had some hellacious neighbors over the years, and it's always across the street from where we live. And Boxcar Diddy was kind of one of those neighbors. Just figure out where the Legion's coming from. Okay, left me. So anyway, we had these neighbors, and it was a man, a woman, and 2 kids. And the kids are older. They're probably late teens, maybe even early 20s. And one day, this man just shows up over there, and he's pretty filthy. He kind of looks like he crawled out of an asshole. Oh, that's you on the hook. Now it is pouring the rain. They're not home. They've gone on a trip, and he's just sitting out there in the rain, occasionally looking at his cigarette, trying to figure out why it won't stay lit. You know, I mean, it's pouring the rain, playing guitar. That was the guy that became Boxcar Diddy, and he was called that because he would just kind of like travel the road and come by train back to this house. It turns out that the woman who lived there was his first wife. And he'd just show up to hang out, to like live with him for a while. And I can't imagine, like, there's no way I would let my ex's, whatever, my wife's ex just come up and live in my house. And he'd come stay for like 6 months, I guess, until they get tired of him and they'd run him off, and then he'd come back after, 6 or 7 months, and there he'd be, stinking and everything. But that was when Fred was little, like a baby, and when he would be there, they'd play music, like the sons. It was his sons. The kids there were his biological sons, and the man that lived there, he worked night shift, and their mother worked night shift. So it would just be Boxcar Diddy and the two adult sons there, and they would play music so loud that they couldn't hear you knock on the door to ask them to turn it down. And Fred couldn't sleep. It would wake him up. And Fred's real small. I know you've seen pictures of him, Colt, but he's tiny. And the doctors had told us, we may have to diagnose him as failure to thrive because he's just not gaining weight. And he needs to be able to sleep. And I actually went over one night and beat on the door so much that I broke the glass. Because they wouldn't come to the door to even talk to me. Because I guess they couldn't hear it. And but one night, Mama J just had enough, and she went over there. She didn't beat on the window. She beat on the door, and the guy came to the Boxcar Diddy came to the door, and they got into an argument. She told him that they needed to shut the fuck up, and she never cusses. She went. We had just got in from the grocery store. She didn't even bother to stop. Like, we started unloading the car, and she said, "I've had enough." And she storms across the road, and it was near Halloween. She has a Halloween candy bucket in one hand and a bag of potatoes in the other, and she's beating on the door with the potatoes in her hand. But like every once in a while, he'd just show up.
Crazy.
But we've had terrible neighbors over the years. This one family, they would bring their TV every Monday night. They'd bring their TV out in the driveway and watch Monday Night Raw with their speakers, and like when a body would hit the ring, it would shake our windows. And it just so happened that's Mama J's least favorite thing to watch.
What? How did that hit? I got stuck in the tree. That's crazy. Yeah, we've had some kind of crazy neighbors over the years. One of the crazy neighbors we had lives in like a house just next to us on the same block, and like I think his like ex-wife would come over and would complain about our dog barking, right?
Yeah.
So our dog would be barking, and she'd come to his house just to bang on his door to complain about our dog barking. Like it made no sense.
Well, that's what dogs are supposed to do.
Yeah, but also the reason why they were barking was because the neighbor, the dad and her son, had, actually, like, thrown food over our fence to our dog without us knowing. And so then they would go over there every day to bark to let them know they wanted, food from them. And then the wife had a chihuahua that she brought over, and it would, bark at our dogs through the fence. And then our dogs would bark back, through the fence. And then one day she's like, yeah, I've had enough, I'm calling the police on these people. And we end up having to get rid of 2 of our dogs because of that stupid woman.
Well, the police can actually make you get rid of a dog?
Yeah, they said if we didn't get rid of it and that we had the dogs, like within 30 days, then we had to get a fine or get arrested, or like my parents would get arrested. Yeah. Apparently, she had complained that many times because in order for something like that to happen, you'd have to complain 1,000 times probably. And she was like one of those Karens.
Yeah.
She was like a redhead. Looks like she smoked meth. Like it was bad. Like she's like a crackhead.
A redheaded methy Karen.
Yeah. Like she always came with her hair like she didn't even take a shower. It almost seemed like her hair looked like it was like burnt. Like it was like she had like taken the straightener to it like so many times that it just burnt her hair to crisp.
She's like Cracky the Clown.
And so we ended up having to get rid of those dogs, and their names were Copper and Reese's. And what do you call it? And then one of them was a beagle. He was a bigger sized beagle. And the other one was like a herding dog kind of.
Yeah.
Like a sheepdog, basically is what it was. And so then she would, like with it being in her blood, she would come up and kind of nip at your kind of like ankles.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of dog she was, and she was, because we had got her when she wasn't a puppy. She was older, and so people had used her for that. And so then she already had that, and kind of like that she was supposed to do that, like it wouldn't hurt or anything, but she just kind of just nip at the back of your leg.
Yeah.
But they were both really good dogs, and actually like, didn't even bark that much, or were even that loud of barkers either, for as big of dogs as they were. But apparently the police had enough calls where they somehow got paperwork that said that they could, and so we ended up giving them to my mom's cousin's friend, and then we never saw them again because they were in a completely different state than us.
I cannot spin this Legion.
Yeah, Legion has been unspinnable.
And see, the police here are just completely opposite. We called the police on Boxcar Diddy quite a few times, and the music, and they wouldn't do anything about it. Now, when the man that lived there heard about it, he stopped it.
Okay.
He was a good guy. His name was Doug. We had this one family, and they sent the youngest kid over with a giant Ziploc bag of pennies and wanted to buy a roll of toilet paper from me one time.
Oh, nice.
I thought, man, how bad do you have to be to, like,
Yeah.
how bad off do you have to be? I said, and I couldn't stop laughing because he was like, we need help. And I said, what do you need? And he said, we need to buy a roll of shit wop from you. And this kid was maybe 8.
Wow.
He said, do you have a spare? And I said, here, just keep your money. And gave him I gave him 2 rolls of toilet paper.
Oh, that's nice.
It was a single mom. She had like 8 kids.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely expensive.
Yeah.
And, like our place in our town,
Yeah.
like our town's like I think like has like a population of like 9,000 or something. So it's not like a huge town, or it's not even a super small town either. But it's just like such a peaceful town that the police are just have nothing to do, nothing better to do. And so then, like, there's a town about 20 minutes north of us that, like, I'm not gonna mention the name of it, but
Yeah.
it's like got a population of like 30 or 40,000 people, so it's got quite a bit more. And the police are way more chill over there. Like, if someone's speeding, like, they're not really gonna do anything because they have other things they need to do, other than catch somebody when they're speeding about 5 or 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, you know?
Yeah.
But in our town, if you go like even maybe 1 or 2 miles over the speed limit, they'll get you because they have nothing else better to do.
God, they came out of nowhere.
At least you didn't. I didn't hear them.
I didn't either.
Yeah, they have nothing better to do in our town. Like, it's like crazy. Like, if you just go 1 or 2 miles over the speed limit, they'll pull you over.
No, the police here, they don't hardly do anything. They never did anything about our complaints about, like, they came out and said, yeah, not much we can do about it. Said you can't even go talk to them? Well, not really.
Jeez.
And it's kind of fun here, like you were talking about, nothing better to do. The news here, like the newspaper, in the summertime, if there's like no story, nothing to report on, they'll get, like, somebody will crack an egg out on the cement and let it cook, and talk about how it's so hot that that the egg would cook on the cement. The joys of living in a boring small town.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and well, 1 year here, like we never have any crime happen here, hardly. Just 1 year, I think it was during like the whole COVID thing, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was during COVID or if it was a couple of years after it, happened. It was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. But that 1 year, in one day, we had like our population is like 10,000 around there, and there was like 2,500 to 3,000 robberies in that one night.
Oh wow.
Like also like arson, and like they also committed arson and shoot, what's that one thing? I think it was just arson. People were committing arson and robberies, or arson is part of robbery. I don't really know, but it's just crazy. Like we locked up our house because we're like, nope, no one's coming here to break in our house.
Well, I felt like you had to.
Yeah.
Me and Mama Jay played a round of I can't think of the word. Proposal, job, and total. So that's the game we play about my brother, about how many girls, like, has he had more proposals, more jobs, or more total cars. Every once in a while we do that. And because we were trying to, he one time he had a wedding ring that he kept in his pocket. He used it for multiple girls. And we were talking about one. She, poor girl, she couldn't spell for anything. She had been through a lot in her life, but she'd always tell, like, on Facebook that what she'd been through, but it was always THREW. 3.
Yeah.
And when he was with her, he met her at Walmart. They both worked at Walmart. That was one of his jobs.
Okay.
And at Christmas, I guess, you know, she has 5 kids, I think. And I guess maybe they were a little strapped for cash. But my brother stole a doll for her for Christmas from Walmart, where he worked. And he got caught.
Oh,
And
that's not good.
you know, Elsa from crap, Frozen.
Yeah. Yep.
And he came and told me about it because, you know, he had to go to court. And he said, well, no, did I think he was going to get in a lot of trouble? I said, you never know. They might let it go, let it go.
Yeah. That's just how it.
True story, though. And his wife left him over it.
Wow.
So that was one of his... And he got fired, so... And it wasn't long after that he totaled his car. So that was a total, a girl, and the job all in one story.
Wow. That's crazy.
Every once in a while, when I see him, I'll just start saying, let it go, let it go.